So I will have the comment box open, but there's also, if you go all the way down to the bottom, you'll see it square with a question mark on the inside. So if you have particular questions for Sara, more than welcome to ask them. If you have any follow-up, her Instagram handles at Sara_Roy_Remax. If there's any questions for me, you can ask them on my Instagram handle. But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
you know, for me, my home is like, I love being home. And I want my home to be that space where like I never have to leave. And my dream home has always been an ocean in the backyard and a rainforest in the front. How that's going to happen, I don't know. But I'll make it happen. Somehow I'll make it happen.
Well, you can always add some decor, maybe some artwork of the ocean or rainforest, right?
Yeah. And so I know Sara through my husband. I forget how long you guys know each other for.
A few years.
Yeah. So she's been
actually Sara Fenwick was the one who introduced us.
Okay.
Mortgage Sara.
Okay. Yeah, I love it. Both my real estate and my mortgage agent, their names are Sara. It's easy for me.
Keeps it simple, right?
Yeah, keeps it simple. And I remember our first home that Dave and I got. I like the first couple of like, oh my God, I don't know if we're going to find anything that I love. But the one that we bought with you, it was the minute we just stepped in, Dave and I just looked at each other. I was like, this is it. Yeah. And it was nothing that I actually had in mind. It was just that feeling of, yeah, this is home. I'll never, ever forget that because it really made me take the ideas I had in my head and kind of throw them out the window and say, okay, what are our values that are important to Dave and I to have to make our home feel like home, to raise a family and grow it? And that was more important than some of the actual physical things that sometimes we feel like we need. There is one question. We're thinking about moving our laundry room to the second floor and making our laundry area now a full mud room. How do I read the whole thing here? Sorry, I'm going to have to bring this closer to me. Full mud room off the garage. Thoughts on our laundry. And then it kind of goes away. So we'll get into that question. And then Sara can go a little bit more deeper. So let's just start with you, Sara. Like, tell us a little bit about your background, how long you've been in the industry, why you got into real estate, what you love about it, and why you love working with all of your clients.
Yeah, thank you. So I've actually been selling real estate for 11 years with Remax. So I grew up in Mississauga. My office is in Mississauga, but we do have 5 locations that are strategically placed around the GTA. So I am a mother of 2 small children. I love being a mom, and I love being an entrepreneur. So real estate for me is not just about selling houses. It's more about creating or helping my clients create wealth in real estate, and kind of growing their real estate portfolio for the long term and not just as a transaction. So I'm really passionate about helping my clients not just purchase one home, but I get really excited when it's time for them to purchase an investment property and start growing their portfolio, just because I know how much real estate, like I believe in real estate as for an investment perspective. You know, I'm not one to dabble into mutual funds or the stock market. I truly believe in the real estate market and how it can create that financial freedom for a lot of families. So I'm just really passionate about helping my clients grow that, and seeing them, you know, throughout the years, create families in their homes and just grow as people. So, yeah.
One of my favorite things that I love what you do is you actually give back to community a lot. So I think it was last year you gave back to sick kids.
That's right.
And that was a really, for me, anything medical related always hits home for me. But how did you get into giving back to community the way that you do? And you do photo shoots for families too, right?
Yeah, so actually, for every home that I do sell, for every home I sell, whether it's a home my client's purchasing or a listing that I'm selling, I donate a portion of my commission to the Children's Miracle Network and the Sick Kids Foundation. So yeah, so off every referral, every home I sell, I do that. And, you know, it's just my way of giving back. I mean, I have kids myself. My mother worked at Sick Kids Hospital for over 10 years. And, you know, they do great things. And if anyone needs it, it's the children, you know,
Yeah.
it's always, yeah. So, and then every year, I actually host client appreciation events, and that's probably the photography you're talking about. So what happens is that I invite my clients out to an event. So sometimes we switch it up year to year, but for the last 2 years, I've had really great feedback from my family photo shoot. So whether it's a family or a single client I've had come out and take pictures with their dog, we secure a location, usually somewhere in like rural kind of area. I hire a photographer. We have some food and some entertainment, and the families have their scheduled time slots for photo shoots. So that's just, you know, my way of kind of giving back to my clients and showing my appreciation to them.
I love it.
Thank
So
you.
with the whole COVID-19 situation, I know businesses have really had to pivot, and I coach a lot of businesses just on how to be successful entrepreneurs and how to pivot. And I think pivot and innovation are two key crucial factors to being successful. How has the real estate market had to pivot during this time of COVID-19?
Yeah. So, you know, first, a lot of people ask, like, are homes still selling? And absolutely, homes are still selling. Are we seeing, you know, 10 plus offers on a property like we were in February? No, obviously, and it was expected that the market's going to slow down just like all the other markets. But the good thing about it right now is that inventory has slowed down and buyer activity has slowed down, which is kind of keeping the market a bit more neutral. Then we're not having this big decline in prices. Okay. So we are having a huge decline in activity. There's just not a lot kind of going on, but homes are still selling. So for our seller clients, you know, we're taking precautions. So we do have the buyers and their agents sign off on a waiver. They fill out a form with a few questions on it to assure that, you know, they're feeling well, they haven't traveled, and so on and so forth before they actually book the appointment. And in some cases, we're even taking it a step further to ask the buyer to submit an offer before booking the appointment.
Okay.
Yeah. So the offer would still be conditional on the buyer looking at the home. But at least this way, the seller knows that this buyer is serious. Yeah. And that they've, you know, looked at all the photos, they looked at the video, they've even driven by the property, they've even put an offer on the table before allowing them into their home. So that's actually working quite well for everybody because nobody wants to be out if they don't need to.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And then so for the buyers that are looking for a home, you know, we just ask them that they assure that they look at all the photos that are available, that they view any videos that are available, that they drive by the property and utilize Google, right? So yeah. Google Maps, do the street view, walk around the street, do an aerial view, that sort of thing, which these practices, a lot of my clients did them before anyways. I mean, Rima, when you were looking for a home, I'm sure you hopped on Google, looked at a map, looked at all the photos. So we have been taking quite a few we've done quite a few changes, but you know, we're still selling homes.
Yeah. Is anyone doing, I've heard of some virtual tours. Are any of the sellers open to that? So having the buyer be able to do, like, I don't know how the virtual tours work with home selling.
Yeah. So there's There's a couple different definitions. So a virtual tour, like the way that we describe a virtual tour, is basically just like a video of the home.
Okay.
And then we have a 360 tour, which again is an interactive video of the home that actually there's thumbnails that'll place you, say, into the living room, and then you can pan around the living room to see like a whole 360 of that space, and then you can kind of pivot into the dining room and pan around the dining room. And then we've taken it now even a step further to do a 3D tour, which almost looks like a little dollhouse.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen them yet, but it's like a virtual dollhouse. And then again, you can go into the home and kind of see each space like that. The dollhouses work well because you're able to see the closets, the garage, those things that we don't necessarily highlight on our average virtual or regular virtual tours.
Right.
But yeah, we're just becoming a lot more detailed before putting it on the market, just to assure that we're weaning out anyone who's not, the house is not the right fit for them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Has there been, I know the government in Ontario at least is providing a lot of funding to really help out anybody either in small businesses or corporations or even students. Recently they gave out some funding for students. Are they doing anything in particular for the housing market?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
No. So if you purchased your home, so some buyers who had purchased, say in February or March, who aren't closing until say May, which is very likely.
Right.
A lot of those buyers now perhaps have lost their jobs, or they might be on EI. So from an affordability standpoint, or for their mortgage approval, they actually don't get approved for their mortgage. But as long as they have purchased that home prior to March 25th, their mortgage approval stands.
Okay.
So so as a buyer, if you purchased your house, say March 26th, 27th and onwards, and you're not closing till June, and then you have since lost your job and are on EI, you're going to have to find a different way to qualify. So as long as you've purchased your house before March 25th, and say now you've lost your job and you're on EI, not to worry, they're still going to give you your funding. So March 25th is that date.
Is that magic date?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What are some trends in the real estate market? Is there anything that people are wanting in their house, or that they're like, this is a must? Or is there anything that people are staying away from? I don't know.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess from decor standpoint, white kitchens have been classic. Everybody wants that nice, bright white kitchen. Yeah. Well, majority of the population does, or it is really appealing when you are selling your house to have that nice, bright kitchen. Yeah. People still are loving the open concept. I think people are now looking at more outdoor space. Just because of the time of year as well, right? It's more important. They actually visualize, okay, can I entertain here? Can I see myself having a barbecue? Could I see myself quarantined here? Yeah. Right. So people are just taking a few extra, like asking themselves a few extra questions than they were before. But yeah, trend wise is definitely white kitchen. We're seeing a lot more lighter color flooring. So the more of the darker wood is out, more of that like light gray washed flooring, and then light walls, keeping the walls nice and light and bright. Yeah.
All right. My other question was, for anyone who's selling, is there a trend with the sellers? Or like, are they staging a lot of time? Because I know you do offer that service when you are selling a home. You do provide staging.
That's right. So actually, every home I sell gets some level of staging. Okay. So whether the house is completely vacant and we bring in all new furniture, or if there is a lot of furniture already in the home and we just bring in new pieces. Yeah. So every house I sell gets staged. I would say like buyers right now are actually quite picky.
Okay.
Just in general, right? Like they're spending a lot of money on their home. So we only have one chance to make a first impression.
Yeah.
So that first impression, you know, in any market happens online. So we want to make sure that those pictures and video are perfect. And then of course, when they come into the home. So staged homes actually statistically sell for more money. They sell faster, and they're actually more likely to get you're more likely to get multiple offers. So I actually include staging in my fee. There's no additional cost for that.
Yeah.
So doesn't matter what level of staging you need, it's included.
Okay. All right. I know recently there have been lots of programs online where, there's several companies out there where they're saying, you don't actually need a real estate. You use our online program and we're able to help sell your home without any commission. For me personally, I'm very much like, hey, I'm not the expert. I want an expert to deal with this because it is a lot of investment, right? And so my thinking is always like, let the expert deal with it because that's what they do day in and day out.
That's right.
What do you say to that for those programs that are online that do help you sell a home without an actual agent or a commission being made there?
Yeah, so not every transaction is straightforward. There's actually a lot of legal responsibility that we take on as agents, that as the home seller, selling your home yourself, now you're taking on that legal responsibility. Right. So if you haven't disclosed something that you are entitled to or are mandated to disclose, that can really bite you in the butt down the road. So just leave it to the expert. We have access to different programs, different real estate boards. Myself, I'm a member of 11 different real estate boards, which means that when you list your home with me, you get advertised on 11 different boards. Okay. So some of these discount brokerages, I don't know where they're advertising your home. I don't know what they include, but myself, we go above and beyond to make sure that our clients get the results that they need. Yeah. And like you said, leave it to the expert. At the end of the day, what matters most is what you're netting in your pocket and not necessarily the sale price of the home. So, yeah.
But I know for me, like with my experience with you, it's been above and beyond. And I'm always looking at all the little things, like especially with customer service. Customer service goes such a long way. And you and your team, I should say, are there every step of the way. If we ever have any questions, you're easy to get a hold of. I deal with you. I'm not dealing with anybody else except for you. When I didn't have knowledge in something, you took the time to actually walk me through things and make me understand, hey, this is what this means and this is why we're doing this. And then the little things like I remember you gave us a gift when we purchased our new home. And that's like something I'll never, ever forget. And I would say right now in the whole COVID-19 situation, if you are your own real estate person or you have your own business, this is the time for a giver's gain. And I'm a big, big supporter of that philosophy of give right now, support your clients, ask them how they're doing, check in with them. Because when you give up front, you definitely gain that back some way, somehow down the line in the future.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
What else? So any other tips or recommendations during this time?
Well, something that I thought would be fun to talk about, well, you had actually mentioned it, is that we're obviously spending a lot of times in our home right now. And for some people, they may actually be falling out of love with their home. So I thought maybe to provide a few tips just to see if, you can spark or light that spark again for your house. So if we're looking at, space to space, and I'll just use like my living room as an example. The first thing you want to do is just declutter that space, right? Like don't get overwhelmed and think you need to declutter your whole house. But if you can just fall in love with that space that you spend most of your time with and kind of move around the house from there. So first you want to just declutter. Take out everything from the space that just doesn't serve a purpose within that area. So, you know, if you have paperwork in your living room that doesn't belong there, like put it away in your office. Or every item in your home should actually have its own home within your home. Okay. So I actually utilize a lot of bins from, excuse me, bins from the dollar store or IKEA. And all my vitamins go into a bin and they go into the cabinet in my kitchen. So then I'm not cluttering up my counter space or anything like that. So you want to declutter the space first. And then with your walls, like I know a lot of people go into paint stores and they get really excited seeing these bright, bold colors. And I'm not saying don't use color in a space, but just try to keep your walls nice and light and neutral. So like right now, we use Benjamin Moore mainly for decorating and staging. So I would say the 3 top colors I recommend at Benjamin Moore would be like Balboa Mist, Paper White, and then Classic Gray are really nice. So just keeping your walls like nice, light, and neutral. And then, excuse me, adding your pops of color from there. So if you have like your decor pillows, maybe even switch out some artwork, that sort of thing. So just kind of keep the space neutral and then switch out with decor.
Right. Okay. I know definitely my interior bug has gone through the roof. And Dave and I have actually, we've redone the basement. It was already made and like built out already, but we furnished it and everything. And I'm actually doing videos now for my chronic pain patients and helping them to move. So I'm thinking of like the filmer's mind of like, oh, I need light colors to make it more bright. And
yes,
can I add punches of color and add more greenery to the space? And
yes,
I actually enjoyed it a lot. And in the beginning of this situation, I was like, oh, I'm home. Like, what am I going to do? And now I'm like, oh, I love being home because now I'm going to really make my home, my space that's unique to my personality and Dave's personality. And it's been so much fun.
It is. The only hurdle we have right now is that HomeSense isn't open.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my go-to decor store.
Okay.
I'm usually at HomeSense at least once or twice a week, just
okay.
just to go in and see what they have. I'll even switch out decor at HomeSense. You know, you buy something, you bring it in your space, and then if you don't like it, switch it out. But yeah, so like you actually mentioned, adding greenery, fresh flowers. I'm quite busy myself, so I'm not on the ball with watering plants. So I just, you know, in my home, I have fake plants, but they work and they add the right ambiance.
Yeah. I have an amazing horticulturist who's actually a professor too at the Niagara College University. So if anyone does need any green, they want fresh plants, he's given me great suggestions because I told him, like, listen, I'm low maintenance. I need green plants. I want my place to look like a forest inside. I don't want to put that much work in. So what do I do? He's given me great suggestions. So I'm more than happy to refer anyone to Matt Robertson if anyone is interested. I was going to say one other thing and it just totally went right over my head. It'll come back, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, something else you can do in your space is rearranging your furniture.
Yes. Yeah.
So that really changes up the feel of the space, and even using different pieces of furniture from other rooms or different pieces of decor from other rooms. So if you have artwork in your guest bedroom, you know, switch it out and put it in your living room, or vice versa. Even just your decor pillows, like your throw pillows, switch out the colors in different rooms. I mean, we're home, so why not try to
why not
make the best of it, right?
Yeah. And it does change the energy of the space, right? And we often forget that, like, our home is not just a place that has, you know, it's brick and mortar and has walls and actual furniture pieces, but it holds an energy. And just changing things up and decluttering, like you said, changes the energy of the space. And definitely, I know lots of people are working from home. And for me, initially, it was kind of like, I was like walking through mud almost. But when I changed a few things around and I made things more clear, all of a sudden it was easier for me to work on my business and get creative and innovate and pivot. So don't be surprised that when you do change little things around at the home, that your energy space will change as well.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Rima, actually, you know what? I wanted to ask you, like, what advice do you have for us right now being at home and just trying to stay on top of our health?
Yeah, definitely. I would say the biggest thing that I get most concerned about is because we are isolating, sense of touch is so important. And that's out of all of our five senses, touch is the only one that our bodies can't thrive if we don't keep initiating it and stimulating it. So we can live without our sight, we can live without our sense of smell and taste, but we can't live without our sense of touch. So my biggest advice to people is, you know, with your family at home, if you've washed your hands, you've taken a shower, you've done the proper techniques to, you know, make sure that you're safe to touch other people, give anyone around you in your home a hug. If you're by yourself, call somebody and just ask them how they're doing. It goes a long, long way. And if you can and you have the opportunity to FaceTime and look them in the eye, that will be even 10 times better, because this is, I was reading an article, and this is where I also will say, like, keep your news to a minimum and keep it to only credible sources. So any government websites are good to get your sources of what's happening with this whole pandemic. So World Health Organization, I'm from Canada, so Canadian government sites are great to get your information from. Health Canada, but only limited, if you do like to watch the news every day, to once a day and not more than that, for like 30 minutes. After that, it's off to the side. So trying to see how you can also just be in community. This is the time to really show and shine the value of community and how that makes us thrive as human beings. And working, like I always say, working out, but really, I mean, move mindfully every single day. Have a morning routine and have an evening routine. And they can be something as simple as, they don't have to be complicated. Your morning routine can start with, what's the one thing that you're grateful for? If you do that, and that's the only thing that you start your day with, I'm telling you, it changes the way your brain actually functions, and it changes the shape of your brain. And what you're grateful for starts to come into reality, and those are the only things that you see. So all the negative stuff that we've trained our brain to look at starts to go away off to the side. So, you know, staying in touch with people, asking them how they're doing, giving a hug, 20 seconds minimum, because that's when we start to get a physiological change in the body. The average person wants about 13 hugs a day. Can you imagine? But we're not asking for it, right? Because we've created this like touch phobic society. So if you feel like somebody wants a hug, ask them, because most likely they need it and they want it. Moving every day and finding a routine that works for you. That's the most important thing. It doesn't have to be a routine that someone else is doing, but a routine that works for you that you can commit to. And doing one thing every day consistently is better than not doing anything at all. Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Thanks,
Awesome.
Rima.
You're welcome. So anyone else who has any more questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to Sara in regards to real estate. Again, her Instagram handle is at Sara_Roy_Remax. So she'll be able to guide you. I love working with her. Anyone that I do recommend or I refer off to, I'm very mindful about it. So I have pretty high standards. So when I'm doing interviews like this, I'm hand picking and curating people, because they're not only experts at what they do, but they're going beyond and above the business of what they're in, meaning that they care about the relationships, they care about connection, and it's not a job for them, it's a vocation for them. So that's the biggest reason why I brought you on. And Sara's knowledge is not just about, again, she said, it's not just about selling homes, but it's an investment in your life, and it's an investment on growing your human experience while you're here on this earth in this time that we have. So thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Thank you everyone for joining. I'm going to give a shout out to Mama Rigo. There